This is Face the State for Sunday, October 26th. The election 9 days away, and we have Mayor Wanda Williams ready to tell voters why she should get 4 more years in the city as her main competition continues to put the pressure on. It's the most expensive retention race in PA's history. How the outcome could impact your life with a yes or no vote. And more controversial presidential pardons. Which one is more concerning to the detractors? The politician or the crypto giant?
CBS 21 News presents Face the State with Joel D. Smith, a look at the issues and politics that shape Pennsylvania.
One of the most highly publicized election stories is not a race, but a vote. The retention vote for the 3 Democratic judges on the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. Justices Kevin Dougherty, Christine Donahue, and David Wecht. Many say it's big because there's already that 5-2 Democratic majority, and this would retain that majority for another 10-year term. Maybe you've seen their pictures, maybe you've seen the ads. There are a lot of them. It's become an expensive race as well. Here to talk about why he thinks you should vote yes is the chairman of the state's Democratic Party, Eugene Depasquale. Next week, we'll be talking about the no's. You are on the yes side. Let's let you start with your, give me a 30-second kind of synopsis as to why this is important and why you think folks should go yes.
These 3 justices have stood up for our freedoms, for reproductive freedom, for making sure every kid has fair education funding, also for making sure that our democracy uphold, making sure that every single vote is counted in Pennsylvania, whether Trump won the state or whether Biden won the state. And this is about making sure that average, everyday Pennsylvanians have ownership in this court and not just one MAGA billionaire who wants to pump money in to try to defeat them because he simply doesn't like how they rule.
Okay, it's a pretty good start. Now let's get to it. Should this be political to begin with? These are justices.
Look, if this was up to me, it would be simply a yes, no vote without a lot of advertising based on what people view to their job. That's how most of these retention races have gone in the history of Pennsylvania. But this MAGA billionaire has decided to pump millions and millions of dollars into this. So we as Democrats are not just going to sit back and take it.
Like you said, you mentioned historically, only one justice has lost a retention election since Pennsylvania first adopted these kind of elections in 1968. This may seem vulnerable this time. That's why so much money is being put into it and why you say, you guys got to step up as well. The competitive balance in money, what does it look like right now?
Look, both sides are now spending a lot of money. They had a head start because, again, they had somebody who's worth $78 billion writing unlimited checks. So they had a head start on it. But we're certainly catching up, certainly on the air and in the mail and doing our digital spending. It's also, I believe it's critical to point out that, again, having one person fund this type of stuff is just completely beyond the pale. So as Democrats, we're going to make sure that our justices are defended, getting out the message that they've stood up for reproductive freedom, making sure that they stood up for fair education funding. It's also important to note that the Independent Bar Association has given these 3 justices their highest rating. That's why people should vote yes.
Yeah, that part's interesting too. Good stat. Let's talk about some of the things they have ruled on in the past, the election rules, the gerrymandering. They kind of went against that. We had to redraw the lines. Mail-in ballots have gone kind of back and forth with this. And it's not necessarily Democrats always vote one way just because they're labeled Democrats. Wecht dissented in 2024, the privacy envelope decision. Dougherty dissented in 2020. That was the ruling on the undated mail-in ballots. Should they be counted or not? So this is not just a blank check where, you know exactly how these folks are going to vote because every case is different, right?
They do exactly what I believe Supreme Court justices should do, which is you've got 7 of them, and they rule in the case based on their interpretation of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. That's important to remember, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court and the Pennsylvania Constitution. That's what they're doing. So I don't agree with every decision they make, but that's exactly what justices should do. And again, we have one person literally writing these checks here. I'm sure they have other activists out there, but again, one person writing these big checks, trying to make sure that they have corporate ownership of this court. And I simply believe that's wrong. And I think hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Pennsylvanians agree with me on this. That's why, again, we're out there getting the message out that they've put up for fair education funding, abortion rights.
Well, let's get to the abortion rights part of this. That could be something that people actually vote on and care about. The court will likely, be asked at some point to what extent the state constitution actually protects access to abortions. How are you saying you think these particular justices would rule in that case?
Again, it's up to them to decide, but what they've said in the past, and I, again, would hope they would do in the future, is women in Pennsylvania, our Pennsylvania Constitution has a robust equal rights amendment that actually does not exist in the federal Constitution. And to me, and I think the justices have said this, but to me, I have a strong conviction on this, and I believe they will agree with this. Again, it'll be up to them to decide it, which is women should have the same access to health care and control over their bodies as men do. And that's something they stood up, including poor women and working class women. That's something that this court has said in the past, and I'm hopeful that they'll do that in the future. If the other side wins this, women will not have the same control over their bodies as men do in Pennsylvania.
All right. So those are the issues. There you go. What will you be doing in this last little push here? We got about 30 seconds. What lies ahead in the last 9-day push?
I'll be in central Pennsylvania this weekend. I know we're going to get me up to northeast Pennsylvania. I'm going to be in Erie. We're going to have some time down in Pittsburgh as well. I'll be doing interviews like this and others.
Okay.
I'm doing my part to get the case, make the case.
Well, you made your case today on the yes, yes, yes. We'll see what the folks say next week on the no, no, no's, but we really appreciate your time.
Hey, thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.
Great, thanks. So the other thing people will be deciding, how about who will be their next mayor? If you are in Harrisburg, you know what you're deciding. But let's hear from the people actually on the ballot. You heard last week from Dan Miller. This time it's Wanda Williams' turn. Good to see you. So, welcome back, everybody. Last week we talked to the man challenging the mayor here in Harrisburg. Today we have the mayor herself to answer some of those things that were said last week and also talk about things happening this week. Good to see you, Mayor Wanda Williams.
Thank you. Good to be seen.
All right. I know it's busy time, right?
It is very busy.
Kind of exciting, too?
It's exciting.
A little bit of everything going on right now.
Love it.
All right. Well, let's get to something that did happen this week. We learned that you settled the lawsuit, about $900 to pay for was accused of violating state ethics laws, directing city workers to get those dumpsters to your home for personal use in 2022. So it's been settled, but what would you say to the voters who are hearing about this last second as we're only a few days away from the election?
Well, I'm not going to speak about what happened or what was said in the newspaper regarding the dumpster because that's going to be tied to the court cases in April. So I want the voters to understand that do not believe everything that you hear on the news.
Okay. But they did read some of the things. You need to clarify anything there in terms of, was it for personal use? Did you not pay?
Well, I don't need to clarify anything if I have a court case handling in April.
Okay.
And then they'll know everything. All the information will be settled.
Is it tough timing then that this came out right now?
Well, I knew that was purposely done. That was purposely done.
Yeah.
His attorney is going through anything. And of course, there's other individuals who's tied to that.
Okay. All right, well, we'll move past that, but, you know, the voters are thinking about it, so I wanted to give you a chance to talk if you wanted to.
Well, I think the voters just need to wait and understand that, you know, I do have a say, so it's two sides to every story.
But you did settle already, so that part.
It's two sides to every story.
Okay.
Okay?
I hear you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Give me
Now,
the benefit of the doubt, being able to, you know,
Yeah.
tell my story, tell my side of the story in our April case.
Well, now let's talk about the best case you can make to be reelected. There's a lot of things out there. People know you by now. Is that the best thing that you can say is, you know me, you know what I do, let's just keep going?
Well, no, that's not the best thing I can say because, you know, you see what I've done. The transformation in the city of Harrisburg itself, everything that I've done as far as affordable housing. When I came here, 4 years ago, one of the things, my major topic was affordable housing. Well, look around Harrisburg. You see almost 250 affordable apartments in different areas of the city, not in one particular section.
So you like that? That's a good one for you. When we're talking about, in particular, you know, working families trying to come here and be a part of this, the curfew that was put in place to try to clean up things downtown, do you think that works, that idea of the curfew in particular?
It most certainly did. It most certainly did. Where we had 300-400 individual kids on a Friday and Saturday night, we now see about 50 and 60.
Okay, so is that going to continue? Is that?
It most certainly will.
Okay. Was there any penalties? I know it was mentioned that you wanted to put a little more emphasis on parents to do their job to keep their kids in place.
Well, we've been fortunate enough that we don't have to put any penalties on parents because the young people have been staying away from the downtown area, those who don't belong there, I'll say.
Okay. So we had Dan Miller on last week. Let's have you respond to some of the things he said.
Sure.
So he said that, you know, the affordable housing that you mentioned, it may not be all because of your doing. So let's take a listen to
I don't
that.
know why not, because first of all, I'm the one that met with the developers. Dan didn't do anything. He's been in the city of Harrisburg for 25 years. He's an elected official, served in 2 elected positions, never came in as a comptroller. As a matter of fact, I just recently talked to our new comptroller. The office was in chaos. Dan did not do anything. And then treasurer, he's not coming in. He comes in sporadically.
Is there a way to measure that? I mean, I know you're saying that. He'll probably say, I'm there all the time. Like,
Oh, he knows we know.
you guys check in?
We know. He knows we know.
Okay.
We're right there in the building.
All right,
I'm there every day.
What's the soundbite we're going to play here? Let's see if that's up.
I just have to wonder if she understands anything about Harrisburg finances. Can she read a financial statement?
Well, Dan, if you want to talk about financial statement, you were the CPA for the board of the Market Street Board. And what happened? What happened to that fiasco? You're so great in financial. How did that man seem to steal $15,000 from the Broad Street Market?
When it comes to the two of you, was there a time where this broke down? Because I knew you guys he was on your transition team. You guys went around to debates together.
Well,
you worked together for years.
We worked
seemingly
together
fine.
with everyone. Dan and I, and who he mentioned, Bianca, which he lied about. But of course, Dan says, in order to get elected, you have to lie. So first of all, foremost, Dan and everyone was friends. Him, Alex Reber, all of us. We were all friends. And then Dan, if you don't do what Dan wants you to do, he's very revengeful, very revengeful. So that's where it broke down at. And as a matter of fact, he said he's not associated with Bianca. Well, James Bianca helped him run on the Republican ballot against Mayor Pavlofus.
Once before, and now he's doing that again.
And he's doing it again, but he says he's not associated with him. So see, here's another lie.
What are voters to believe? I mean, how do you tell them I'm the one telling the truth when both of you are calling each other liars?
Well, first of all, there's statistics that show that Dan doesn't come to work. Everybody in the city of Martin Luther King building knows Dan doesn't come to work but one time in the month. You don't never see him down here. His deputy treasurer is the one that handles all the business.
You guys clock in? How do we know the records
We
on
don't.
that?
Well, he's never there. First of all, they never opened the office. After COVID, he kept the office closed. He opened up one time a month, one time a week. Come on. Everybody knows that. You had irate residents coming down there snapping out at my receptionist because Dan Miller's office was not open.
You mentioned the Broad Street Market. You criticized his financial handling of that, but
Right.
how about the overall handling of that? It's been a long time, and that is, such a high-profile endeavor, and it really has taken a long time to get going.
Well, first of all and foremost, like he said, I could do an executive order. Well, I'm not the governor, and my executive powers does not, there's limited, and I cannot do an executive order. First and foremost, he's still the CPA.
Yeah.
He did not know that the Broad Street Market insurance lapsed, and we didn't as well. The city of Harrisburg was not notified that the insurance lapsed, and here we are. We had to wait 18 months before the insurance company let us in the building.
And that changes everything. I want to get to this now. 1,000 people voted for neither you nor Miller. It was
Okay.
Lamont Jones. Have
That's
you reached
fine.
out to those kind of voters yet?
We're reaching out to everyone.
Why should they vote for you instead of him then? I mean, if
Well,
they
I
already
think
didn't
I've
pick
been-
you once.
I think I've been more responsible mayor than Mr. Miller could ever be. He's not coming in. I'm there every day. I'm there 5 days a week. Matter of fact, I'm available 7 days a week.
Would you say your boots are on the ground?
My boots is already there.
I said that because that's the song that's
That's
played
right.
during
Boots
your...
is on the ground, moving forward.
You have an 18-minute campaign video. What was the strategy of the whole first 3 minutes just dancing and showing this?
Well, it was just to give the people an opportunity to see that, we were really serious about me moving forward, being the mayor, that I always have my boots on the ground. When they call, I'm there. I'm stepping into whatever chaos we have, whatever critical issue we have, I'm there. Now, I won't go to the shootings in the city of Harrisburg because that's a reminder of what happened with my granddaughter. But I will go any other time. They call at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm there. I have grandmothers calling me up saying, could you help me? My child was just arrested. Could you assist me? I'm out of the bed. I'm going. The fires, if I know in time, I'm there. So where has Dan been? He's never been in the community, never walked through the neighborhoods, wouldn't know who lived on what street. I've been doing that for 25 years.
Well, it still seems like it might be kind of close, but...
Well, it can be close as one, but I'm already claiming it.
Okay.
I'm claiming that victory.
You sound positive.
I'm very positive.
We'll see if you're right in about 9 days.
Well, sometimes, the way things go, it depends on, We don't make the final decision about things.
It's up to the voters,
It's
and
up
you've
to the
made,
voters.
you've made your case. I'm
And
glad you
I
came
think
here to
the
do it.
voters know that they can depend on me, rely on me. I've always been transparent. And as far as the voters are concerned, they know they can come and talk to me. If they have issues, I'm settling them right immediately.
All right, our time is up, but you've been heard. Thanks for
Thank
being here
you.
on Face the State. Good to see you again.
You're welcome.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, it's up to you guys, the voters now. You've heard everything, but you haven't heard from our political insiders yet. They want to talk about a few things they've already heard and also some things yet to come. How about some pardons that are controversial? What about that White House? Stick around.
Only in Harrisburg can people look you straight in the face and deny math reality. If you remember and go back to what I said we're going to generate in revenue, 45.1, what is the difference between 45.1 and 51.5? It's a lot.
The way Pennsylvania funds public education is inadequate and unconstitutional. Fix it. Fix it. This proposal in front of us goes nowhere close to fixing it. Nowhere close. But I find myself, once again, fighting for children I don't even represent.
We have heard passionate talks like this for more than 110 days, and it seems like they are still at day one.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, and it is passionate talk, and it's passionate talk from bright guys who are working hard at it. But unfortunately, there is no progress, and it isn't in front of us.
What's going on here? I mean, they sound like just like they did on day one. They make good sense. They both make their points really well, but it doesn't sound like there's any compromise coming.
Well, the person that should be making the compromise is the governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro. But what's he doing? He's out campaigning for re-election. He's out campaigning for running for president, doing a book tour, national media. He needs to come back to Harrisburg, get the House Republicans and the House Democrats together and work out a deal, work out a compromise. This is the governor's budget delay.
But, you know, we have a bill that was just passed out of the Senate that doesn't pay the bills. I mean, when you have a house and you have a light bill, you've got to pay your bills. This doesn't pay the bills, so we've got to get serious about it.
Well, certainly it's the same level as last year, $300 million more, as opposed to the governor's proposal, which is a 7.5% increase, which is, nobody's taking that serious except for the governor.
But
Right. Well, I mean, you got the numbers here. I mean, the Senate said 47.9,
Yeah.
which would barely be 300 million more. They said they only have 45 billion to begin with, so they're at a structural deficit, is what they claim with the numbers. I know we've said before, why can't we just find the number in between and just make it work? But no one wants to budge that far either way.
we have to, because again, we have to come to some middle ground because it's just not working.
I agree
this
with
way.
Tony. We need to come to a middle ground, which means the governor needs to come down off of his number. Correct?
Has he been there? He's been there some. I mean, you're saying not enough.
He's
but-
definitely has come down.
Yeah.
The Senate Republicans have come up 300. Let's move it a little more.
The governor really saying now's the time. We'll see. All right, let's get to what we mentioned before. You heard that the mayor didn't want to talk about it too much, but it's this ethics investigation. There was a settlement. Basically, it accuses her of using the dumpster for her own purposes. She says, other people use it as well. This happened in 2022 on a number of occasions. She called out and had the dumpster put over there. The timing, she says, is not fair to her. It's coming out right now. But what do you think this is going to mean to the election?
It's not good. 2 weeks before the election. I mean, don't forget, this wasn't a Harrisburg Ethics Commission. This was the state Ethics Commission, which is, for the most part, very nonpartisan, very nonpolitical. And it came out last month. If I were the mayor, I would have signed the check right away, pled guilty, or admitted my guilt, and moved on and not make it a story 2 weeks before an election.
Yeah, timing's terrible. I hate to see it. I hate that it's hanging over the important issues of the day, but it's there.
And it might be a close election, so it's interesting when anything comes up this late in the game. Let's get to the White House right now. Some people are very upset about what happened this week to the East Wing, but some past presidents have made modifications as well. Harry Truman, he wanted to change the interior. They added the West Wing at one point. They had the balcony. But these are tough images to look at when they're going to get better someday, but Some people are very upset about this. Should they be?
No, they shouldn't be. They're building a gigantic ballroom, which they've needed for years, and they're rebuilding the West Wing. It's going to be better. You have to tear down to build up. It's just, it is just the many Democrats who have Trump derangement syndrome. It doesn't matter what he does, they will be against it. If Barack Obama or Biden had done this, they would be the greatest thing in the
Is this
world.
something or nothing?
It's something. I mean, I think it's Trump. It confuses power with permission. And I think what he did was took this power, and instead of being transparent about it, he comes and says, we're going to make some changes, and wipes it out.
So there could have been a process.
I think if we understood it,
Okay.
and I didn't mean to interrupt you, Joe,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
all right.
if we understood it a little better, I think it could have been accepted. This isn't a basketball court. This is wiping out part of our history.
Hey, listen, throughout history, anytime anybody, when Teddy Roosevelt built the West Wing, people went crazy. The same with Truman. I mean, this is Harrisburg, Washington politics, and it will be much better in a couple of years. And Donald Trump is a builder. He's been a builder his entire
and
life.
the financing of this is also a bit of a thing. Is who's paying for this? What are the donors doing? What are the donors getting for what they're doing?
Yeah,
So
nobody exactly knows exactly who's paying.
Are you okay
for
with this?
Exactly
the donor
how
part of
much.
this?
They've,
Not
li-
knowing?
they've listed the donors. And guess who else is a big donor to this project? Donald Trump himself is donating millions and millions of dollars to this project.
Let's see where we go on this one. Donald Trump himself had a couple, let's just say, interesting pardons this week. You know how I feel about pardons. It's the worst thing America's ever done because we have these great systems of, checks and balances. Then all of a sudden, a president can come in and kind of act like a king in a sense. The pardon was of George Santos. And then this one was the pardon of the Binance founder, Changpeng Zhao, who had previously pled guilty to enabling money laundering while heading the cryptocurrency exchange. He served a 4-month sentence. Trump's family companies have amassed more than about $5 billion in paper gains, at least so far, through crypto investments. There was a connection to Binance as well. What do you think about the pardons this week?
Well, listen, it is the president's prerogative. And let me just set something straight for the record. Trump had nothing to do with the gentleman he pardoned today with any of their family crypto. The Trump administration is very pro-crypto as opposed to the Biden administration that was not. And it's funny, I didn't hear anybody like Elizabeth Warren or any of the other Democrats complaining about the 1,500 commutations and pardon of Hunter Biden under Joe Biden.
Yeah, I complained about all of them, but go ahead.
Listen, we're talking about billions of dollars, and there's a direct link from this shady character to Donald Trump's family. Direct link. And so we can't allow this to go on. It just can't allow it to go on.
Which was the worst pardon then if you had to rank them? George Santos or this one?
George Santos is a buffoon. This is billions of dollars.
No direct link at all.
Okay, but which one's the worst pardon then?
It's the president's prerogative. Joe, how about I think Hunter Biden's the worst one. How about that?
Okay. I give you A or B, you choose C. All right, that's all good. All right, final word coming up in just a second. All right, quick answers, guys. You're political consultants. What's the latest you ever got involved in a race?
About a month out.
Month out. What about you?
Oh, like a week out.
A week out. Hey, we're at 9 days left. Folks, if you want to call up, you got some really smart people here looking for some work, I think. So you never know what could happen. Thanks for watching. You've heard, both mayoral candidates. This may come down to the Lamont Jones vote. What will those people decide? I don't know. Hopefully you'll decide next week to watch us. We'll learn more.